What you have to do in the world is different. How you do it is different. When you talk about pressure, you're not talking about what to do and what not to do, you're talking about how of life. If running a design school is becoming a big pressure, living as a whatever, a business person is becoming a pressure, don't do it, just walk the beach. But they're also pressure, isn't it? So the pressure is not because of the job or the position that you've taken. Pressure and stress is happening because you do not know how to conduct your body, how to conduct your mind and how to conduct your emotions. This human mechanism, this is the most sophisticated gadget on the planet. Have you read the user's manual? That's the whole problem. If you deal with that, outside situations are a play. To what extent can you play? Maybe you cannot play like me, but you will play to the best of your capability and that's fine. You don't have to play like somebody else, but you must play to the best of your capability. If that doesn't get explode, when you're pressured, it will not get explode. When you're pressured, when you're stressed, you will not live to your full capability. Even the silly things cannot be done when you're under pressure. If you're in a certain level of calmness and sweetness within you, your body and your intelligence will work at its best. So, this is about playing this life out. This is not about proving something to somebody. It is just that if you want to succeed, it's only success that ultimately everybody around you will respect, okay? If you want to succeed, you must learn to harness your physical body and your mind the fullest possible way. So only two things. And of course, harnessing the external situations, but that harnessing the external situations essentially depend upon how well you can harness your own intelligence and your body. Now when you're creating pressure, on one level what it means is, your intelligence has turned against you. It's not working for you, it is working against you. Nobody has to cause misery to you, you're in self-help. Only if you're happy, your body and mind will function at their best. If they function at their best, depending upon your individual competence and the situations around us, how they play out. Your success is not just about your competence, there's also a situation. How all these things come together, that will lead to a certain level of success. So I'm saying the way you are is the first step, what you do is the next step. But everybody is trying to fix it the other way around and it'll never work.
So if you look at it, what happens within a human being is entirely caused by him or her within themselves. Your joy and misery happens within you. Pain and pleasure happens within you. Right now, actually, even what is light and darkness happens only within you. Because what is light for you is darkness for some other creature. This is all the way it is happening within us, or in other words, the very basis of your experience is within you. When the very basis of experience is within you, should you not determine what is the nature of your experience? If you did determine what is the nature of your experience, would you make it pleasant or unpleasant for yourself? Definitely pleasant. If there is a choice right now within you, either to be blissful or stressful or miserable, what's your choice? Definitely to be blissful. So this ability to exercise this choice is something that we have not spread across in the society. We have not brought this into our children's lives. We have not made this a part of our education, that the most important thing for a human being is that you are a wonderful human being. If you are a wonderful human being, when you are feeling wonderful within yourself, you naturally do wonderful things to everybody. When you are feeling horrible within yourself, you will do horrible things to other people. And every human being can notice this. When they're happy, if you meet them, they are wonderful people. If you meet them when they're miserable, angry, frustrated, whatever else, they can be nasty human beings. So this dimension of life has been neglected in our eagerness to develop our economies, to exploit the world, do whatever. We are busy fixing the world. Yes, world needs to be fixed to some extent. But we think by fixing the world, everything will be all right. No, we also need to fix this human being. Fixing this human being means we have all gotten committed to individual identities and prejudices. From the simple aspect of gender, we are the same species, but gender has become like two different species. Nations, ideologies, race, religion, all kinds of things have divided and fractured humanity in so many different ways. It is time that we instill this in our children and the future generations that life happens as one big whole. But it is the magnanimity of the creation that it gives us an individual experience, but actually it's happening as one whole. Either we understand this now, or we will anyway get it when we are buried. When we are buried, we all become part of the land. Same soil, isn't it?
Yes.
You cannot overcome something which does not exist. Right now, are you in fear? Right now. That I may say something damaging. Is it the fear? Every moment of your life you're in fear? No. So, when you're not in fear, just stay like that. Because to create fear, you have to use excessive imagination. To not be in fear, you don't have to do anything. Fear is happening because of excessive imagination, things that have not happened, you're creating. What may happen in your mind happens in 1,000 different formats, and most probably it never happens. The things that you feared, take 100 things that you have feared, probably 99 of them never happened, isn't it? Yes. So your fear is always about that which does not exist. You cannot fight or you cannot overcome that which does not exist. We can overcome something that exists. You cannot overcome that which does not exist. You just have to give up that effort. Enjoy the fear. After all, it's your making. You like horror movies. Yes, I mean, you're saying no, but you're producing them. It's just they're not making money, that's all. Fear means you're producing horror movies in your mind. Nobody else is willing to watch. That's bad for the producer. But you're producing them. So, you produce something else. Produce a comedy, a love story, suspense, thriller. Try and see, today. Just sit down, produce a love story, a suspense thriller, a comedy. 5 minutes movies you make in your mind. Really. Start using your mind differently. It's just gotten into your pattern. Just gotten into your pattern of just creating horror movies all the time. You have watched enough horror movies, they're boring. Create something else. Even it's not that if you produce these movies, those things will happen in your life. Still they may not happen, at least you enjoy the movie. In reality it may not happen, so what? At least you enjoy what's happening in your mind, if you cannot enjoy what's happening in the world, isn't it? That much privilege every human being deserves, isn't it so? Even if the world is not kind to him, at least his own mind should be kind to him, should produce some nice movies.
The first time I came to United States, wherever I went, I heard this term, stress management. I could not understand. because in my understanding, we manage things which are precious to us. Our families, our businesses, our money, our property, whatever is precious to us, we will manage that. Why would somebody want to manage stress? I couldn't get it for some time. Then I realized people have made a conclusion that stress is an extra limb that they have in their body. Stress is an appendage that they cannot get rid of. Stress is not a part of you. You get stressful because you do not know how to handle your mind. No attention is being paid as to how to handle this mind, how to handle this emotion, how to handle this body, how to handle these energies. Nothing has been done about it. You're managing such a sophisticated system accidentally. So you being stressful is a natural outcome of such unconscious living. There is no other way to be. Don't think your job is stressful. Now you're a student, being a student is stressful. If you don't find employment when you come out of the college, that is stressful. If you get a job, even more stressful. If you don't get married, that is very stressful. If you get married, I don't want to say anything. If you don't have children, that is stressful. If you have children, you pull your hair out with stress. So, it is not your job or your life situations which are stressful. Stress is happening to you because of your inability to manage your own system. Not knowing how to manage the system is stressfulness. If this happened the way you want it, you wouldn't be stressful. If you do simple inner engineering process, just 21 minutes a day. Today you take your pulse rate before and after food. Do it for 6 weeks, check your pulse rate and see it will be considerably down. Which essentially shows with the same level of activity, this is a simple indicator. There are many other parameters that you could check. But this is an extremely simple indicator for which you don't have to go to any laboratory, you can check it yourself. The lowering of the pulse with the same level of activity indicates that your system is going at an easier pace. That means it's working much more efficiently. If you drive your car at 2000 RPM, the engine may last 100,000 kilometers or miles. If you drive the same engine at 5,000 RPM, it may last only 50,000 miles or less, simply because it's unnecessarily revved up. So if this can do everything that it has to do at an easy pace, that means it is happening efficiently. Any machine which has least amount of friction within itself happens efficiently, naturally produces more with least amount of stress. It is definitely time you do some inner engineering.
From what I observe from people, as I travel more and more, meet various kinds of people in business, academics, science, and regular people all over the world, what I see is most people in the 24 hours that we have per day, they're more preoccupied than busy. That is, their own thoughts and their own emotions are such a big issue that most of their time is spent dealing with that. They may be working, but in their work, a lot of struggles are within themselves. If you are in any kind of sport or any creativity, you would know that a little struggle means your ball will go somewhere else, your ragam talam will go somewhere else, your painting will go somewhere else, nothing will happen properly. Or in other words, what could happen very simply, unfortunately happens with lots of difficulty. This is mainly because they have been given a phenomenal gadget or a phenomenal machine, which is the human mechanism, above all, a phenomenal dimension called the mind. They are trying to operate this phenomenal machine or a gadget or a computer, if you'd like to call it, without reading the user's manual. Every day struggling with their own stuff, and it doesn't get solved before they're 20 or something. Till their last day on their deathbed, they're still struggling with the same things, their thoughts and their emotions. If they learn to sort this out very early in their life, I'm sure they can work half the number of hours that they're working and be a lot more productive than the way they are right now. My effort is to bring this possibility to people's lives, that you can live life with ease, not with struggle. One thing is, when we say work, it's many young people, wonderful people who are getting recognized for whatever wonderful things they have done, leaving them apart, but generally work means always been… people have been taught that they must work hard. Nobody told them they must work joyfully. Nobody told them their work should be an expression of their joy or their love. They have to work hard. If you work hard, life will be tedious. How else will it be? You will do something hard only because you don't know how to do it. If you know how to do it, you would do it with ease. So without learning how to do something, if we try to do it, without investing enough time in perception, if life is all expression, then life becomes a big struggle. Most people are not doing anything except earning a living, maybe reproducing and dying one day. Nothing more. They may believe they're doing many things, but this is all they're doing. Eating, sleeping, reproducing, dying one day. That is such a big fuss. Every other creature is able to do this, from an earthworm to an insect to anything and anything. Everybody is doing this. They all earn their own living, they eat, they sleep, they reproduce and they die. With 1/1,000,000th of our brain, they're able to do it. With this big brain, human beings are struggling not with the things that they're doing, they're struggling with the brain itself. Their own intelligence has become a serious problem. What is the biggest boon in our life? What is the greatest benefaction in our life, which is our intelligence? This has become a problem because they don't know how to hold it, they don't know how to use it, constantly it works against themselves. When I say it works against you, people may call all kinds of names, may use all kinds of words to describe this. They may call it stress, they may call it tension, they may call it misery, they may call it depression, they may call it anxiety, they may call it madness. Essentially, it's your intelligence turned against you. Your intelligence is not working for you, it's working against you. So my fundamental work is this, that at least your body and your mind should work for you. Nobody else may work for you, it doesn't matter. At least your body and your intelligence must work for you. If this one thing happens, you living blissfully, gracefully, effectively is a natural consequence. If you learn to simply sit, you'll become tremendously intense. Right now, your energy is simply expended by doing unnecessary, endless activity. When you have so much
mental diarrhea, how can you have energy? Suppose you have diarrhea, do you see how weak you feel? Yes or no? Right now this mental diarrhea, that's why people have no energy. They want to just eat and sleep all the time because mental diarrhea, it's very exhausting. If you have physical diarrhea, you know how exhausting it is. Yes? This is also equally exhausting. People are sleeping 8 hours, 10 hours a day, not because they're working so much or their body is in such a bad state. It's just mental diarrhea. If you stop the mental diarrhea, there's enough energy to make this very, very intense. Now how do I stop mental diarrhea? If you have diarrhea, physical diarrhea, what is the first thing to do? Huh? What? Yes, run to the toilet, I know that. I'm saying as a corrective measure, what's the first thing you do? No, as a corrective measure, what is the first thing you do? First thing is stop eating, right? Yes or no? But diarrhea means in some way we've eaten something that the body doesn't want. It's trying to throw it out. Yes? You've taken something inside which the body doesn't like. It wants to throw it out. First thing is, stay away from food for some time. You eat bad food and then try to stop diarrhea, it's not going to work. So similarly, bad food for the mind is just this. You have gotten identified with things that you are not. The moment you get identified with things that you are not, mental diarrhea is inevitable. It's bad food for the mind. Now it will run endlessly, do what you want. You do any damn meditation, you say Shiva, Rama, it's not going to stop. It's not stopped, isn't it? Because bad food is being eaten every day, you're getting identified with more and more things and you want to stop your mind, you do whatever kind of circus, it is not going to stop. If you disidentify with everything, if you understand what is you and what is not you, if you keep a little distance from that, mind will become still. If you want, you can use it, otherwise you can keep it. Now my hand is there, if I want I can move it, otherwise I can keep it. This is a useful hand. Suppose it starts jumping like this. You clearly know there is some kind of an ailment, isn't it? Yes or no? So if hand is jumping, you know it's an ailment. If mind is jumping, is it an ailment or no? The ailment has come because continuous wrong diet. You tell your mind that I am this, I am this, I am that, I am that. It's having diarrhea. You stop giving it wrong food. If you clearly see what… even if you do not know what is me, at least you know what is not me, isn't it? This much you do. Tonight before you go to bed, sit on your bed and sit down and discount everything that is not you. This house in which you're living, is this me? No. This loving parent or mother, father, wife or husband or child, they're wonderful, but is this me? No. Now these nice clothes I'm wearing, is this me? No. Now my body, I like it, but is this me? No. Now I'm having so many thoughts, is this me? No. Now I'm having wonderful emotions, is this me? No. Like this, everything that's not you, before you sleep, keep it down and go to bed. Tomorrow morning, you will wake up considerably more intense than today. Every day you do it. In a little while, if you simply sit here, things around you will reverberate. Really. So I was in… a few years ago, couple of years ago, I was in America and this is a very typically American question. This lady comes up to me and she's very angry. I've been doing this yoga for last 35 years, nothing happened. But you went and just sat on a rock and things happened to you. This is not fair. Where is that damn rock? She thinks it's the rock which did it. The only sadhana that I did in my life is, right from my very early age, though I was very actively involved with everybody around me, I never identified myself with my parents or my siblings or my endless number of friends or the society or the religion or the country or anything around me. Never identified. Not that I was not involved, I was very involved, very active. Even today I'm very active and involved, but not identified. If you don't identify with anything, there is enough energy in this to become intense. See, I want you to understand, your life energy right now in this body, how many things it's doing here as you're sitting here? Hello, do you know the complexity of activity it is doing? Every cell in the body, your liver, your kidney, your damn spleen, and all kinds of stupid things that we cannot even figure even today. Yes? Just see as you sit here, how many things this energy is doing. Obviously it must be intense to do all this. You are not able to experience it because of diarrhea. When you have diarrhea, that's how you feel, isn't it? Yes or no? So that's how it is. Stop the diarrhea. Stop eating bad food, diarrhea will stop. Once diarrhea stops, there's enough energy in this to sit here and reverberate in a very intense way.
Our mind is a tremendous gift where it remembers vividly every experience and every information that comes our way. Well, this can be transformed into a phenomenal imagination, but if you lose control over your imagination, if you lose the discrimination as to what is imagination and what is reality, what is future, what is present and what is past, then your mind will become your greatest enemy. Most human beings are not suffering life, they're just suffering their memory and their imagination. What happened 10 years ago, they still suffer. What may happen day after tomorrow, they already suffer. This is not about life, this is about lack of control over two most fantastic faculties that human beings have, a vivid sense of memory and a fantastic sense of imagination. Do not worry about your future. If you do your present well, future will naturally blossom. We can only work with what's on our hands right now. You cannot work with what's on your mind. You can plan for what's on your mind, but you cannot do anything about it. You can only act in the present moment. You can only handle what is there right now.
Those of you who too engrossed in your own thoughts and emotions, constantly being maybe on social media or something, I think you must get rid of your phone and take a walk in the forest. If it's not possible every day, at least 1 or 2 days in a month, you might get lost somewhere. Just be in nature all by yourself, walk, sit, observe.
If you pay enough attention, you will see, you will be so enchantingly enamored by every little thing in the existence because the way a single ant is made is too much for you and your intelligence to grasp exactly how this is made. Those who have not peeled their eyes to the creation get too enamored with their own mental creations, which is their thought, the juicy part being emotion. When your thought and your emotion becomes more important than the Creator's creation, that means you have become a perceptual tragedy. You have not realized the nature of life at all. We know many things, we can do many things, but we do not know anything in its entirety. So this is the nature of the existence. If you pay attention to it, naturally your own thought and emotion will sink to the background. You can still enjoy them, but you know how insignificant it is. So it's very important that if you want to experience the multifarious dimensions of life, you have to be non-serious. You become serious only because you have taken your own existence too seriously, though we exist here for a minuscule amount of time in this cosmos. This is a vast cosmos. The very planetary system, the solar system in which we exist is a speck. In that, planet Earth is a micro speck. In that micro speck, the place you live or the city you live is a super micro speck. In that, you have become a big man or woman, and that's the reason why you're so serious about life. It's a brief amount of time that you have as life. In this, if you take yourself too seriously, you are one big joke. The secret of life is to see everything with a non-serious eye, but to be absolutely involved like a sport. So be a sport for life. If you want to be a sport for life, you have to be able to see that your existence is of consequence for the times in which we live, but not of eternal consequence unless you touch the eternal dimension of who you really are. It's such a brief life, only in doing what you truly care for will your life become worthwhile. If genuine involvement has to come in your life, for you to give yourself absolutely, you must be doing something that truly matters to you. It's important that you find that. When I say it's important to find that, you don't have to spend half your life looking for what is my passion. No, you just have to dig into this ability of you making everything yours. When everything is yours, this whole world is yours, this cosmos is yours. So when it is a part of you, if you involve yourself absolutely and constantly strive to create what matters to you, what you really care for, then your existence itself will be worthwhile. Not necessarily your actions, not necessarily what you achieve and may not achieve, but your very existence will be truly worthwhile, because just to breathe and be is a phenomenon. There is no greater phenomenon than life. If this is not worthwhile, what is?